President Teddy Roosevelt literally saved football from going extinct. Let me explain. So you have to understand, in the early 1900s, football was a totally different game than it is now. The forward pass was illegal, and the only strategy in the game was to
run through a motherfucker face.
Thank you, Marshawn. And to put it simply, the game was really dangerous. Not to mention the equipment was obviously not really built for safety. I dig up some of the most interesting stories in sports and stuff that ESPN doesn't cover, so if you want more of this, make sure you follow me. But the game was so violent that one Harvard versus Yale game was famously nicknamed the Hampton Park Bloodbath. And I'm not exaggerating, the New York Times once reported that French duels had fewer casualties than football. And this wasn't just a one-off thing, because in 1905, football's breaking point happened. Because the Chicago Tribune published a headline that read, "Football Year's Death Harvest." In that one single season, 19 college football players stepped onto that field and left in a body bag. And this is where the President of the United States gets involved. So Teddy Roosevelt was actually a massive football fan, but it got personal to him when his son started playing for Harvard and got injured in a game. And now the game that he loved was actually threatening his own family. So Teddy called up the heads of Yale, Princeton, and Harvard and told them to get their asses down to the White House. And Teddy gave these boys an ultimatum. He said, "You either make this sport safer or I will abolish it entirely." So in 2025 terms, Teddy was basically standing on business. And with that threat hanging over them, they had no choice but to change the game. So they created a new set of rules to make the sport safer. One, the neutral zone, and two, the big one, legalize the forward pass. But the crazy part about this is that the coaches absolutely hated it. They actually called it a sissified play that wasn't real football. But that one sissified rule is what changed the whole sport and arguably made it even better. So the next time you watch your favorite team's quarterback throw a 50-yard pass down the field, unless you're the Jets, you can thank Teddy Roosevelt.